If I wet the hair down, I can section the top out of the way, and that gives me access to all these sections at the side. I can then use my comb and fingers to pick up each section, working from the front towards the back, and I can debulk the hair. So this method I'm using right now is a debulking method. I'm removing the majority of the length, but it doesn't have to be too clean at this point. So I'm picking the hair up with my fingers, and this is what you would call cutting hair with tension. So I'm using my fingers to pull the hair straight, and that puts the hair under tension. It's not the way that the hair normally lies. And in this haircut, I'm also going to cut hair without tension, and I'll come to that shortly. But as I work my way to the back here, I can see that there's already a line of weight building up above where I was cutting. Can you see that line of weight? When I comb it down, you can kind of see it. There it is there. And that's coming from the hair higher up, reaching down. It hasn't been cut, so it's all reaching down and it's landing at that one point, creating a line. So if I do the same thing again, I just work up a little bit higher than I just did, and I take the bulk down from higher up, that gets rid of the weight line. This debulking process is not the cleanest method, but what is scissor over comb. And this is scissor over comb here now. Scissor over comb does not involve tension. As you can see, I go in with the scissor and I pick up the hair, working from the top to the bottom, and I just let it rest on the comb. So the hair has a slightly natural recoil on it. It wants to pull back in on itself. That's just its natural state. And if I lift it and just rest it on the comb and cut it, it probably won't recoil because I haven't put any tension to pull it straight. It's probably just going to sit exactly where I cut it. This type of hair is a slightly wavy hair, so ideal for this method of cutting. As I complete each section, I'll just keep working my way across and working my way down towards the bottom. As you get to the ear, make sure that the comb is covering the ear when you pick up your section, and that's what keeps the ear safe. You don't want to be catching the ear in the crotch of the scissor, so plastic in between the metal and the skin, and that keeps it perfectly safe. That's a really good way to work. And just work. As you get down towards the bottom, you can get a little bit closer. If you're struggling with this method, just slow down. You don't have to go at the speed I'm going. This is me working at full speed. This is the speed I work at. But slow it down and try to make your sections as small as possible. You can see when I pick up my sections, I don't have a mountain of hair in the teeth of the comb. I have enough that the scissor can just cut straight through it. It's really easy. I'm using a 7-inch scissor here. Now, this is a 7-inch quartered steel scissor. They're really good scissors. But if you're doing scissor over comb, I would really recommend you use a nice long scissor. It covers a lot of ground really quickly, and you're less likely to get scissor marks or anything like that if you're using a longer scissor. So work your way all the way down to the bottom at the back to work down towards the nape of the neck. And then I can then just carry on the same method, scissor over comb. So scissor in, comb underneath, and carry on cutting. Now you'll notice that what I do is, it's all in the fingers. I flip, I hold it with my thumb and forefinger and I flip the comb. That is the secret to this method. Okay, getting the hang of the comb. It's the comb control more than the scissor control. Of course the scissor has to cut along the spine of the comb and you have to cut accurately, but the main thing is the comb control. The comb is controlling the hair. So make sure that your grip on the comb is well practiced and you'll soon get the hang of this. One thing I'll say about these scissors, I always tag quartered steels in my description, and they're quite expensive scissors. A lot of people go and they say, oh, you know, I'd love to have them, but they are quite expensive. Well, recently quartered steels have introduced a new thing, and it's very new in hairdressing and barbering, and it's called Scissor Sub, and that's a way that you can actually just subscribe to their scissors. It's much cheaper than just buying the whole scissor up front, So if you're a learner, or you're new to barbering, or you can't afford perhaps to buy all the best equipment right now, you can subscribe, and then that means on day one you're cutting with the very best scissor, and that reflects in your work as well. I can't tell you how much I enjoy cutting with Japanese cobalt alloy or VG10 steel. It's just incredible to cut that way. Okay, I'm not picking up and cutting with tension now. I'm just carrying on. I'm just working my way around, scissor over comb, the whole lot. And the reason that I know what I'm doing here is that I can actually see my section as I work my way across on the right hand side of the comb. There's another weight line. Let's get rid of that weight line there. You can see, I mean, I don't know if you could see it there, but when I pick this up, you can see that there's some long stuff coming from up above. Let's get rid of that weight line then. I do need tension here. When it's too long, you can't really scissor over comb. It just doesn't work. It collapses on the comb before you can pull it out far enough. So brush all that hair back on the top and then pull it down on the side. And so I've got the top section out of the way, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to carry on using the back as my guide, working my way around towards the front of the head. You see that circle? That's where the short hair is in the comb from where I was cutting before, so I just keep working my way across. Working down to the ear, make sure that the comb is on top of the ear, and carry on. Let's have a look. There's the short hair, so I know that that's the length, correct length, and carry on working across. Down towards the ear. Now remember, comb on top of the ear, cut along the spine of the comb, and then keep working your way over. There's the short hair, and I'm going in that direction now. You see how easy it is to remove a lot of hair quickly. When you get good at this, you can actually cut a head of hair as quick with scissors as you could with a set of clippers. It's going to be exactly the same. Believe me, it might look difficult, but this is very easy once you get the hang of it. I'm doing this day in, day out, and it's so normal. I think if you cut maybe 10 or 15 heads of hair like this, it's going to be second nature to you. Just like any skill that you learn in the barbershop. By the way, I do teach barbering on Udemy. I have a couple of courses on there, so if that's something that interests you, I will leave links down below for that, as well as the scissors and anything else that I'm using today in this video. On top, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sweep the top over to the side, and that's going to actually make it easier for me to pick up in these sections here. Because it's already swept over, it just makes it faster for me to pick up. So I'm going to go in with the comb. I'll pick up my section. I'm taking quite a lot off here. I'll trim that down. Now what I'm going to do is I'm not going to push that to side. I'm going to pull that back into the next section and then pick that up, and I can actually see through my section, so I know I've got the right length. And then again, the second section I took, I'm going to pull a little bit of that backwards. It may look like I'm pulling back all the hair from the front, but I'm not. I'm just grabbing the section I just cut and pulling a bit of it into the following section. Why am I not sweeping the top out of the way? Well, it's because it's cut and it doesn't matter. You know, that bit at the front, I'm not picking it up. I'm not taking lots of hair into the comb. It's not long enough to reach where I'm combing up to, so it doesn't matter. So I keep working my way back. I can actually see while I'm cutting that I've got a nice flow. You know, as you're cutting, you can actually see how you let go of the hair. You can see how it's lying, and you know that it's going to flow nicely. Let's pull all this over, and I'm going to do the same again, work from the top, but more over to the left hand side this time. And I'm just going to do exactly as I did before with the previous sections. Now, for the eagle-eyed among you and those who follow the channel closely, you may have seen this haircut before. This is because I am remaking this video. This is the second time I've made it. Before I started adding animations to my haircuts and trying to explain things better, I put this video out, and I just felt like I wanted to revisit it and add animations so I could try and explain what's in my mind more and make it easier for you to understand. So I hope it's helping. And sorry if it's boring, if I'm repeating myself and you're watching it a second time. I know how much you love my videos, but twice is probably more than enough. I'm revisiting this area again. That's okay, you know, as you work, you can just go back in and look at an area, and if you think that it doesn't look right, just go in and pick it up, scissor over comb, check to see if there's any long hair. This is quite common for me. I like to refine what I'm doing. By the way, tell me where you're up to with this. How are you getting on with scissor over comb? I feel like I'm on a mission to try and get everybody doing scissor over comb. I'm not saying that you need to do it, but it's a good skill to learn. I'm stepping over to the right hand side now. I'm going to do the same thing, pull the hair out, and remember we had that weight line there, but I've got more hair coming from the top now, and I've got this long part to tie in. But yeah, I would love all you barbers to really get proficient in scissor over comb, because you know what's going to happen in this industry is that there is going to be a transition away from short hair into long hair at some point. I mean, it's kind of going that way, I think, anyway, because when you are using clippers or you're fading or whatever, you're actually just obliterating half of the hair. Half of the hair can't be used, and what's happening now is young guys and barbers, they feel like they want to do more with their hair. Now, I'm not saying that you have to do, like, you know, create these wonderful masterpieces of long hair haircuts on everybody, but it's really good for you to have some skills in your armory that you can use, and you can say, well, I feel confident cutting long hair. Having a bit of confidence is the thing, because I think, like, a lot of people I speak to are really, like, unsure about where to go and what to do with long hair, but trust me, you know, you've just got to do it. Don't worry. I'm applying a little bit of mousse now, and I'm blow drying this back first with hot air and then cold air. So, and I'm using a vent brush. The hot air will manipulate the hair, it'll break the bonds, and the cold air will set the bonds. So inside a strand of hair there is keratin bonds, and they break when they heat up, and they will reform in a new position as they cool, whatever position you put them in, to some extent. And that's why perm lotion works if someone was going to have perm in their hair. With a blow dry, when you're blow drying hair, it does work for the day. When the hair gets wet again, it just relaxes back to its natural state. Okay, going around the ear with the corner of the trimmer. What I'm looking to do here, I don't want to create any harsh lines around the ear or anything. I just want to take away any hair that's sticking out. I do like to have a slightly bolder line going down from the ear down towards the back of the neck, but I'm very careful not to go inside the hairline. Definitely not on this haircut. On some haircuts that does look good, you know, like if you were going to do something like a taper fade, you know, maybe like a burst fade where you want to leave a bold line around the ear, but not on long hair. It can start to look like an operation. At the back, I scissor cut quite well into the nape and the neck, so I don't need to worry too much about the neck hair. Just get that loose stuff off. I mean, I'm tapering with a bit of clipper over comb. You can do that as well, just lift up with the comb to try and lift the hair slightly further away from the neck so you're not getting too tight. But I'm going to work my way around like that. I think that actually looks pretty good at the back, but you know, I could potter away all day on that. I don't know about you, do you spend a lot of time working on the back of the neck? You can spend as much time as you like. There is not a hard and fast set of rules. It's up to you to perfect your haircut as you please and make it the way you want. This trimmer that I'm using, it's a Stylecraft trimmer. I'm not really a big fan of Stylecraft clippers. This one's extremely sharp. It came out of the box, the blade is set so close, so I don't use it on kids because their skin's so soft and it causes irritation. It causes like a redness. Normally I use my Andis T outliner, which I've set close but not so close that it scratches. Or I've started using T-Pob clippers lately, and I really like them actually. I've been using the Goblin and the Machete, but I still need to get a trimmer, another trimmer. Now, by the way, my client, he he's got this rugged Scottish beard, and he likes it like that. I've asked him if I can tidy it up, you know, just a little bit, and he's allowed me to, you know. Some guys don't like the really sharp, pristine beard. I like that as well. I really do. I think, you know, let a man be a man, and you know, just neaten it up a little bit. So I'm just going to go around the edges of the beard, basically, you know, just go around, and I'm going to edge up with a razor, straighten up the mustache. The way that I straighten up the mustache is I just put the comb in underneath, and I just cut straight across the comb, and then that way it follows the line of the lip. And sometimes I can go in and just sharpen that up a little bit as well with the trimmer, but that's the way I tend to trim my mustache. Here's my finished look. I really like the flow of it. I think it suits that hair type. It's sitting really nicely. It's layered. This is what we call a layered haircut because it's in layers, and I think it's got some texture, even though the whole thing was club cut. Club cut means straight cut. But I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in my next video.